Hi, everyone. I'm super excited. Dr. Hamilton here with the Epigenetic Performance Series, and we are live with JJ Virgin. I'm doing some tech stuff here that it's not going to go live. It doesn't look like it's going live to all of them, but we'll just keep going. JJ, thank you so much for taking your time. I know how busy you are right now to come and speak to our tribe today. I believe that everyone knows who you are in our tribe, but just for those of you who might not have heard of JJ Virgin, she is just phenomenal. What an influencer, nutrition and fitness expert, TV media personality, New York Times bestseller, founder of Mindshare, which is a collaborative that's really changing the face of health on this planet, and also co-founder of a women's entrepreneurs group. And it's really female leadership that brings together powerful women on the planet to collaborate for global impact change. Now, JJ, for me, I'm going to give you my what I would call my bio for you, master strategist, right? If I could give you like people give PhDs, if I could give you 4 stars on your shoulder to be a 4-star general in leading in war, you would have them on there like bright and shiny right now. I'm not allowed to do that, but you are that. And so I am so grateful that you'll speak to us about being a warrior, what that means, how we really show up when we're challenged by things that we never expected to experience. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe we're never better than when we're challenged, honestly. It definitely brings out more of who we are, right? We're seeing that all over the place. Some good, some not so good, but.
Well, now I feel like most people are also aware of, the interesting experiences you've had with your son since his initial health effect in 2012, and the ways that you basically had to kind of fight systems that were disempowering, not at all benefiting in the way that they could be, and that's really where you kind of cut your teeth on becoming a warrior, right?
Yes. I'd been in training for a long time prior to that. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, life is research and development, and all of the challenges that you go through are just opportunities to learn how to navigate challenging situations, because, that's one thing for sure in life we know we will have, right? Is we will have challenging situations. We may not have thought they'd be something like what we're facing now, but the challenging situation I went through with my son was just as challenging for me personally as this is for a lot of people, maybe more so. So when this whole thing started to unfold, and we were actually together when it was really starting to unfold, and I remember getting home and feeling like I felt the night I was standing in the ICU, where the doctors are telling me I have to choose between, I needed to let my son go, and I'm standing there. He's gotten through his first surgery. They fixed his torn aorta that was going to kill him within 24 hours. But now he's got 13 fractures, literally bones sticking through his skin, and multiple brain bleeds. He's in a deep coma. And I remember standing there and thinking, game on. That the only way I was going to be able to save my son, and I decided at that moment that I was going to do everything in my power and harness every bit of power around me to help my son be 110%. And that in order to do that, there was no margin for error. I had to be at my 110%, which meant, I had to get my sleep. I had to handle the crazy stress of nearly losing a child every day in, day out for months and months, and actually years. And, I couldn't get sick. You can't walk into an ICU where you have to walk in with gloves and a mask and a gown because your son's got tubes coming out of his head. So I just realized I had to put my self-care absolutely at the top of that list. So I would have the physical and mental faculties to be able to go into what I consider to be, a war and win it, right?
And so certainly self first, and you've always taught that. When a lot of people hear that, they think, Well, that's simply selfish. I don't have time to take care of myself because I'm so focused in on these things that are right in front of me. And tell us why I mean, that's not at all beneficial, right?
I think that's putting self-care first is actually one of the most selfless acts you can have, because right now we have a whole lot of first responders we need there. What if they just decided, I think I'm just going to go party and stay out late and not really be able to show up? Like, everyone would look and go, wow, that's selfish, right? The opposite of that is, I'm going to take the best care of myself I possibly can. I'm going to be as protected as I can, as whatever I can get my hands on, so that I can make sure that I can stand up and do what I need to do. And you find there's this whole martyr thing where people put themselves last as if this is a badge of honor.
Mm.
I don't understand it. I actually think that it's like, I have one cousin who's done this for years, didn't go to a doctor for 20 years, such bad hypothyroidism that her bones, when she broke a hip, then she broke a thigh. I mean, she just started breaking everything because she had been hypothyroid for so long, all these health problems. And I remember my mom telling me, oh, poor Susan. And I go, I can't even comment on this. Like, Susan has kids. She has responsibilities. She has a family to take care of. She's got an important career. And that was like disrespectful to herself and everybody else to not take care of herself, of her health. There was no martyr syndrome, there. That's not okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's actually a bit selfish, right? And I call it hubris because it really does that make any sense to anyone?
Yeah, it doesn't. But she thought it was like, oh, poor her. I'm like, she had an opportunity. Like, everybody knows once you've like gotten to be a certain age, you're supposed to like check your levels of your hormones and, check in. Like, we know this stuff. Go to the dentist, that kind of stuff. And again, right now, I'm hoping that we are going to shift off of this kind of like reactive way we take care of our health to realize that we need to always be in a preventive mode. We always need to be proactive. We always need to act as if there's some virus or something else around us, because this is not going to be the only one, and it hasn't been in the past either. So hopefully this is going to spark some massive shifts in the way that we take care of our health, and also the health of the planet. That's the other side of it that's really interesting. And I can do better with my carbon footprint. I've been working on it, but I can do way better. So that's part of what I'm looking at now, is how to minimize all my crazy travel and stuff that I tend to do.
Right. What I love about you is your ability to really create strategy through complex systems lens. So how do all of the parts and pieces interrelate, interconnect, fit together to influence each other? Right. And so it's interesting if you look at like your book, The Warrior Mom, and I'm just going to take the word mom off there because it's warrior, period, right? And that's 7 secrets to bold, brave resilience. And it's really focused on mindset and really the way you perspect all of it through that complex systems lens, right? So if we take as a kind of a strategy, I'm going to look at all of this through a warrior lens. What do warriors do, right? They strategize, they prepare, they've got kind of all these multiple lenses that they look through for the kind of what ifs, to simply be prepared for anything that might come along, the line, so that they have knowledge to act, right? That's what you did in your book.
I'm a super optimistic person. And so it may seem like, well, wait a minute, because what I do in every situation, and I started doing it back in January, then like as I was coming home from where we were in Hawaii, I like ramped it all the way up. It's like, what's the worst case scenario? What is the worst case scenario? I'm always strategizing for the worst case scenario, but then I have to get that out of my head because I do not want it to become, I believe thoughts create. Yes. So I look at the worst case scenario. I make sure that I have what I would need if that were to happen. And then I stay totally focused on the best case. I call it manifest the best. You plan for the worst, you manifest the best. So case in point, I basically have the ability to set up a hospital at our house. I have, we could be here for 6 months and never leave and be totally fine, completely self-sufficient on all of this. My fail micro was I told my mom that she needed to be prepared down in, over in Northern California. She's 90 with hypertension. And she basically bought 2 weeks worth of supplies. So it's been fun trying to get her stocked up from afar when I figured out that she didn't listen to me, and was running out of toilet paper. And she was running out of paper towels. I go, Mom, that's really not an essential. We have kitchen towels. I'm not going to go try to figure this one out for you. This is ridiculous. There are people dying, use the kitchen towel. But it's
the thing is, it's interesting the way you talk about simply being prepared. It's a matter of fact thing, right? This is just life is going to always bring us interesting experiences, and we have the power to be prepared. And actually, I always say prepone. So when we think about health, well-being, the immune system, it is not essential for us to break down and die addled and broken. I mean, it makes no sense because the human system's intelligent design is so exquisite that when primed with the right inputs, we don't get sick. Our immune systems can handle the things that come down the experiential pipeline, right? And so I know a lot of your focus has been toward getting people to think through the lens of prevention, right? Can we step even further back and go, what if there wasn't even anything to prevent? Yeah. And so I know that all of your all of your reach is around this. And from a business perspective, how are you kind of handling this in that side of your life as well?
So this was just starting to happen when we were together, that I'd gotten an inkling that I needed to make I have 2 companies. I actually have 3 companies, but I knew I was going to have to make some massive shifts in one of them prior to all this happening. And the problem kind of solved itself where the CEO of that company resigned, but it also took a couple people out with her. Like if she was going to poison the well, she was going to try to do as much as possible. So right in the middle of pivoting in a consumer brand that supports people in their health, we went, wow, all of our messaging, everything has to change. And I need to hire new people. And this all needed to happen last week. So that was crazy. But I got to tell you, after going through what I went through with Grant, I was literally, I just told my husband, one of my sons, and my bonus daughter are here. And I'm like, guys, you're in charge of the house. You're in charge of the food. I will be down for, dinner and working out. Other than that, I'm upstairs. And it just was we've got this. Let's step up and put this together. And I just went live with my communities and started to talk to them and see what they needed. Because, I think the biggest thing people need right now, I'm so concerned about social isolation because we already know what that does to your health. And so I've just been looking at how I can reach and share and help the community, what things I have available right now that I can give them. Obviously, I can't just send supplements out to the world, but I know that there's a lot of programs and things that when you look at how you can support someone's immune system, so many of the things that you can do to help an immune system don't cost anything, right? I mean, getting out in the sunshine, connecting with someone, you can do that long distance, laughing, tapping, doing meditation, doing some exercise. So I started getting good sleep. I put all of that together so that I could help people with that. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, on our Mindshare business, on the one hand, I feel like it's been a really interesting ride there because we've spent the last couple of years really teaching health experts how to really exponentially increase their impact through going online, through digital programs, online courses, being able to have e-commerce. And so I just read an article about a 37 doctor practice that's out of it's basically all shut down because There's no, non-essential surgeries, et cetera. All of our doctors are actually doing really well because they've just flipped to virtual visits, e-commerce. They've got lots of information to support people with. But we decided as soon as this hit, we sent the message out to our mastermind and said, whatever you need. I said, whatever you need, just text me. You have supposedly 3 calls with us over the year. I go, forget that. You have whatever you need. We'll do whatever we need to do to help you. You can text or call whenever. And, we've been going on with them 3 times a week. We've been doing like a whole pivot series on really understanding how to do virtual and digital stuff, on what the law is right now. So I think, if all of us look at our communities, we all have an opportunity to serve more right now. And I've been preparing for a recession for this whole last year. I thought it would be at the end of this year. And I've been preparing because in business that winter always follows fall, and that we've been in summer and then we went to fall, and it's been like, this amazing economy, and that doesn't last. And you could just see it, like it was, you knew it was coming, right? It's coming. And when you get into winter, that's the time when you've got to really plant. That's when you plant all the seeds. That's when you get the nutrients into the soil. And that's when you actually do not want to. Whoever plants the most seeds, in nutrient-dense soil in spring is going to have the best crops. So this is not the time to go, you know what, I don't want to plant any seeds. No, this is the time that you really need to be out there supporting as much as you possibly can. And, again, I had someone talking about in my organization, like, oh, but that's not my job description. And, everyone's working so much. I go, we're in war since this started. I have worked 7 days a week. I've been getting up between 6 and 7. I've been working till about 9 at night, or until I just cannot do it. I take off twice a day to get some workouts in and to eat dinner. And you can do this. This is what we were put here for. We're so fortunate that we have the opportunity to serve at this level.
Yes, and I love that you said that, because it's almost as if we were grown, and curated to stand up at this time. What I love is your foresight, right, of recognizing that you needed a field force to really make a difference when, right, this winter is here. And now with the telemedicine laws, or the ability to see.
How great is that?
Right? This is the thing. Had you not stood up that group to be ready for this, imagine. To me, I laugh because I see it all in design, right? And so that's that preponing, right? You knew it at some point things were going to change, and so you created, right?
It should have been like, if you look at this, I've been looking at so many things that haven't made sense to me for years. First of all, my son is a mathematician. He's in college and trying to figure out where he wants to go to grad school. Well, they have you do it all based on which professors you love. And I go, this is the most ridiculous system ever. Why isn't all of this online so that you can go take classes from professors who are amazing from all over the world? Why do you have to get stuck somewhere? And now, here he is now online. The professors don't know how to use Zoom. They do not know how to, and I'm looking at this going, where have you been? I'm hoping this will disrupt our entire educational system. I was talking to Bryce and I said, I'm looking at, you have one more semester that you have to do after this. How are they going to convince you actually have to be back in California in class? Why can't you do this long? Now that we've seen it, right? Why can't we? This is like letting the rabbit out of the hat in terms of telemedicine. I've been doing virtual consults for, let's see, trying to think how many years it's been now, 15, 17 years, I think. Because early on, I realized that I'd drive into LA, I'd see clients all day on a Wednesday, and then inevitably someone goes, oh, you know what? I can't come on Wednesday. I'll come Friday. And I go, but I'm not there Friday. I'm only there Wednesday. And then they'd want to refer someone who didn't live in that town, who lived maybe in San Diego. And I'm like going, I'm not doing surgery. I'm just going through your diet and lifestyle strategies. So I think that we could do this on the phone. And so I started doing everything virtually years and years and years ago. And you look at it, and why do people have to go physically see a doctor,
Right.
why?
Yeah.
You know?
None of the whole sick care, treatment care world makes any sense to me anyway, because it isn't necessary, right? If you don't get yourself into the situation where you need it. You know, with the majority of the things that cause death in humans being lifestyle driven,
Yeah.
almost exclusively, the answer is pretty simple. Let's address it through education, lifestyle, precision, programming with actual individualized data, because I'm not one size fits none. And we can do all of that at a distance because advanced technology is allowing us that access. And so it's right to me, it's just stunning what's going to come out of all of this. If we can simply do the pivot in the mind to just go, wow, what crazy new awesome innovations can we create so that we can
That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
I think of any field, the medical field's like the toughest field to change. Because you think about how long it takes to get it into medical school where they're going to teach it. So then it's crazy. And meanwhile, any doctor who's out there innovating, all the other doctors make fun of them. Like I see it, I've seen it for years as doctors have come into Mindshare and started to go online and do this, and all the crap that they had to endure from the other doctors who I'm sure right now, literally our doctors in Mindshare have been going online and teaching other doctors how to do what they do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
thank goodness.
I know. Do so. However,
it's okay.
But I mean, how amazing is this? Because there's a couple huge things it does. I mean, it means we can reach so many more people with the message that so many more people, that you reduce so many barriers, that the real only barrier someone has left in most cases is their mindset barrier.
Yes.
Which is usually biggest, always 99% the big barrier anyway. So,
well, and your mindset, your Miracle Mindset Academy, and I just have this Miracle Mindset Academy. It's on jjvirgin.com, your website. It is truly the most robust mindset course I've ever experienced.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. We're giving it away for free right now because I feel like when I looked at all this stuff, I went, if there was ever a time for this book, when I published this book, people are like, what are you publishing this book for? You're a nutrition and fitness person. Why are you writing this book about this? And now the publishers are like, we're pushing it back out again. It is the most appropriate book because it's really about how to show up when times get really, really difficult. And so when I was putting the academy together, I had a whole bunch, Micra, of imposter syndrome. I was like, who am I to be doing this? And so I took the most amazing people and I brought them in. I mean, we've got John Assaraf, Mary Morrissey, I think we've got Marie Forleo, and I mean, just incredible people in there teaching what they do. And then I just walked through how I got through what I got through with, my son nearly dying, me being there 4.5 months, going behind the doctor's backs to treat him the way I knew he needed to get treated so that he'd actually come out of this and be better than before. And so I was like, what can I do to serve? I can give that one away. And so they can go to my website and the store. And if you put mindset in capital letters when you check out, $500 is gone.
That is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. So it's mindset in capital letters when they check out.
Yes.
Oh, that is such a gift, JJ. I'm so excited. It truly
like so. I'm like, this is so relevant now. It's like it's been sitting there waiting.
Oh, that's in caps. Let me fix that. Sorry, don't want to mess anybody up on that because it truly is. It's so simple and so easy to follow, and it has so many just practical action steps that you take them, and it's just like this, all of a sudden I see differently. the opportunity for us to create a completely new perception set at this time is fully available.
Yeah.
And what would your like say number one thing advice be for people right now when it comes to being open and available to create the new them, right?
Here's an interesting one, and because I believe that you have the complete control over your life and creating the life that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things was there was really a way I wanted to live my life in terms of how I worked that I wasn't quite letting myself do. And even though I've been working crazy hours doing all this stuff, I feel more alive than I felt in a long time. And I'm completely focused on it. All the stuff is super exciting. But I've also said, I like having my mornings where I wake up without an alarm and I can read something positive and journal and just let myself think. I think, the most valuable thing we can do is have some time, whether it's meditation, whether for me, I've tapping, or I like to read a positive book and then just let the thoughts come out. So I've redone my day. And even though I'm working more hours than I typically do, it's out of choice because I also know that this is, I am being called to serve and I'm going to. But I've made sure that I'm doing that positive stuff. And then I'm also adding, I put 2 workouts in a day. And I thought, I'm home. It's so much easier when I'm home to really have, I never, like usually I travel 70% of the time in my schedule. Insanity. And it's like, well, when am I going to work out? So now I'm working out twice a day. I've found this great yoga online through Core Power Yoga. And I've got a weight room at home. I'm lucky, and burst stuff, but I've been just getting up, doing my positive stuff, doing some writing, and then doing a burst workout, and then doing basically a brunch because I've been also intermittent fasting. And then doing either a late afternoon or after dinner a workout or after dinner walk or a paddle board, and then getting a good night's sleep. So, I think this is an opportunity for us to design a life we'll love. And, if you can't be happy and comfortable with yourself, you're not going to be happy and comfortable with a whole bunch of people, right? So it's an opportunity to go, all right, what do I want to work on here? What skills do I need to do? I have a whole box of books Mary Morrissey sent me from her Dream Builder program. So I've got like a ton of books. I've just been going through one at a time of just working through my mindset and working on it. And especially now more than ever, I mean, what a challenge to stay positive and to stay in gratitude when all this crazy stuff is going on. But it is possible, right?
It is possible.
Yeah, it's possible. So how's it going to benefit you to be scared, negative, freaking out?
Yeah.
It doesn't, no matter what's going on, that's what I had to balance in the hospital with Grant. Here I was, my son's hovering between life and death. I've invested everything into my book. My book is coming out literally in weeks. If it doesn't go, I'm bankrupt. I'm finding out that I misjudged the amount of funds I would need to do what I was doing. And I was like $50,000 in the hole. I'm full support for my family. My other son's at home with my ex-husband. I'm like, and I went, all right, so I can have a pity party that doesn't solve anything, or I can just get into this, like seeing where it's going, seeing that book is a New York Times bestseller, seeing my son is 110%, seeing that, seeing all the positive things. And that whole experience was the biggest catalyst to change my entire life. And also, and I made sure when I was doing this, I went, how can I have an experience that will change the trajectory of other people's lives as well? That if I can show them that I was able to go into a hospital, steer the course of the treatment, and stand up to doctors and show them the information and shift things, they'll go do it too. So that's their thing right now. We have an opportunity to make a massive impact. And if you look at this, and I know the disease modeling's been gone so many different ways, but let's just take that one person infects 3 people. Mm-hmm. And then you see and they talk about, well, one person infects 3 and 3 each infect 3. And then, you've got 9 and you see the exponential 1, 3, 9, 81, right? You see this craziness. Mm-hmm. What if you went, all right, who are 3 people I'm going to possibly infect, that I will help, I was doing something for my community, and this one woman said, is this special you're doing right now going to be on next week? I'm waiting for a check to come in to be able to buy it. And I was like, all right, told the team, get her address, send the stuff to her, get her PayPal account. I'm going to give her money, because this is just like what I can do. And it's like, what stuff can we do out there? Like I had that Miracle Mindset Academy. We all have things that we can do. I have a doctor who lives up near my mom in Northern California. She's going to my mom's house every couple days, checking in on her and bringing her things. I hardly know this woman, Dr. She's just doing it because it's it's generous. It's the time for us to step up and show up and help other people. And so, like, rather than infecting 3, help 3.
Right. I call that a viral vector. We have the viral vector ability to inculcate positive regard. And beyond that, right, an unconditional nature of connectivity. And so I love that that you brought that up. I love. Thank you so much for this Mindset Miracle Academy gift. Truly, it is spectacular. And so go over there and push the button now, because it'll walk you through really ways to stay in peace and to benefit others. I mean, oh, it's just so awesome. You also, I have this. This is part of that. This is the JAM, the gratitude PDF download that you were also sharing, and so that's just one tiny piece of it.
A little teeny weeny piece that when people go, what can I do? I go, this takes 5 minutes. Get up in the morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. That's your G. During the day, you're sideways. Your state needs to shift. Go do something for someone. Show some appreciation. It could be a simple text. And then at the end of the day, look back, reflect, and go, what were the miracles today? Like, what were my little wins? So it is so simple. We can all do that. Didn't cost anything. Took 5 minutes or less. And that, by the way, you want to support a good immune system. That is one of the key ways to do it.
Yeah, and Dr. Mario Martinez is one of our, is one of our teammates, and he talks about gratitude being the number one thing for the immune system.
Well, there you are, and it's free.
And it's free.
And it's out of stock.
And it's funny. I know you're also, really assisting all of your collaborators and networks across the world to help those who are in need. I know I sent out the invitation for the dance party that
yes, yay.
That you guys are sponsoring Saturday night. And so also I'm going to have that in the show notes, but I'm encourage all of you to join this. JP Sears is the fun guy, right? The fun guy moderator.
So nice of him to do that. Dry Farm Wines is a sponsor. We love our Dry Farms wine guys. It's going to be, we did a test run on this a couple weeks ago. We're like, Sammy was sitting around, our DJ that does Mindshare, and we're like, we should have a dance party. So we did it with 30 of us. And I thought, this is going to be really lame. But we put on ridiculous stuff, like the hats and costumes I have sitting right over here. And we danced our butts off for 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. And at the end of it, I'm sitting dancing. I go, we could do something amazing with this. And so I pinged Vivian and I go, the Native Americans, you don't even hear about them and the struggles going on in those reservations. I mean, all year round, the struggles are going on. Right now, it's way worse. Where there's tight-knit communities and poverty, you've got a real problem. And they're, a lot of them tend to be overweight and diabetic. I mean, it's just really scary, and they don't have the supplies. So she's been doing a project to help. And I went, why don't we do a fundraiser?
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I feel that too, there was a cool study where they gave women $100 and they had the choice between giving it to doing some charitable act with it or buying shoes. And they wanted to measure which gave them, which benefited them emotionally more. And, short term, the shoes were nice, but the benefit of them doing something charitable was long lasting. And that's why I look at this, I go, well, wow, everyone needs to move more. Everyone needs connection and touch, and everyone's looking for ways they can do something. So we hit the trifecta.
And and that's Vivian Glick. Is just like my child foundation.
Yes.
Just like and so I'll put notes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put notes in on that. And thank you so much today for spending time with us, for everything that you're doing, in yourself, and of course in the greater community and in the global community. We look to you for that leadership and send you such gratitude.
I miss you. I'm so excited to be with you. I'll look forward to dancing with you. I want to see what you're going to wear.
Yes.
I 70s disco wear.
All right. Take care, JJ. Love you.
See you.